Who are you when you're by yourself? Because that's who you are. And if you don't like who you are when you're by yourself, then you're going to have a hard time liking who you are, regardless of the people that you're around. The thing that I deal with the most being alone that frustrates me is being alone. There's nothing else that I don't like about being alone in my company. I will end up doing things that I enjoy regardless of who's watching, but this whole life that we've been given is to experience life with others. We've lived here, or lived lives countless of fucking times, and I've been by myself through so many of those. For temporary or extended period of time, I don't know, but to feel like your soul is like screaming, like, hey guys, wake the fuck up. Like, why are we keeping ourselves trapped in a box or on a screen? Why do I keep myself trapped there sometimes? Because that's what everyone else is doing. And if I want to be around people, I feel like I should be doing the things that everyone else is doing, but then whenever I do that, I feel sometimes more alone than I do just sitting here talking to myself, I guess. I like myself better with people. However, not all people enjoy themselves. And it's hard to be around people that I enjoy when they are not enjoying themselves as well. It almost hurts. Because they're a reflection of you in some ways, right? So, seeing your reflection in pain, knowing the solution to that pain, and knowing that when I was in that place, I didn't listen either. And it took the trial of being alone and hating it to learn anything about myself. I don't know. It's so taxing. Spending my energy on myself all the time, knowing that my heart wants to be giving other people energy, knowing that they can't accept it, so I can't give it. There's not a lot of moving on that goes past that. Like, that's kind of the point that I've found myself trapped in, and I haven't figured out how to move on. Because I know that loving yourself, holding yourself in the way that you want other people to hold you, so that you can recognize whenever they're holding you correctly, that's like a major lesson, right? Bob Mills. But once you learn how to hold yourself correctly, then you're just waiting for someone to ask to hold you. Or waiting for permission to hold them. And this patience thing has run its course for me, I'm gonna be honest. Time doesn't exist, so patience shouldn't either, right? Like, you can't be patient and wait for something whenever waiting is pointless. Just do the things that you want to do. Well, how are you supposed to do the things you want to do if you want to do them with people? I don't know. I haven't figured that one out yet. I enjoy being by myself as much as I need to be. But right now I don't feel like I need to be alone. So then being alone feels like some sort of cosmic punishment for unlocking what has been tormenting me this whole time. Man, if these cards don't shut the fuck up. It's just saying what I'm saying, but I don't see where it actually goes from here. I can see a lot into the future and the past, but I can never see where I am. So I end up asking others where they think I am. Mistake. Others will never tell you what you need to be told. They'll only tell you what they need to be told. And I found myself doing that. I mean, you can't not. It's almost impossible. You say what you need to hear. You say what other people need to hear. But you'll never be able to hear someone say the things that you've been telling yourself, right? Usually the things that we tell ourselves are not very good anyway, so it's a blessing to not be told the things that you hear in your head, right? But whenever you get to a point where you enjoy the things that you are telling yourself and everyone is telling you the opposite, or they're still harping on the past, what they thought that you were, or what they thought that you wanted them to, what they thought they wanted you to be, it's like almost like a slap in the face. You've done so much work on yourself. You've done all these things to change from the past and figure yourself out. And then you ask someone, hey, how do you see me? Do you see this? Or do you, an assessment on my growth, perhaps. And then their reflection is like the same as whenever I met them. I am never the same as whenever I first meet somebody. I feel like I'm a different person every day almost. Just with the same things around. And it's a reminder of who I am and who I want to be and whatnot. But these things change. Some. Probably more than I think that it does. But not everyone changes in their life as fast. This definitely has to be some astrology answer. Oh, it's the moon, ain't it? Whatever. I get it. I get why that life is like this. I know why we asked to do this. I know why we signed up for it. But I don't remember it being this hard. I don't remember feeling lost. Other people taught me how to get lost. I am so good with directions. Don't fuck with me on directions. I'm so good. It's the thought of others that gets me lost. But I love thinking about other people. Because I've spent too much time thinking about myself. And not in a conceited way. I always hope that the notion, whenever you randomly think of someone, that means they're thinking of you. But what does it mean to think of yourself or to be reminded of yourself? And to not know where to go with that. I don't know how much longer I can keep myself satisfied. I don't know if I've ever really been that good at it, to be honest. Whatever. I'm as good at taking care of myself as I am, or as I can be, with the tools that I have at the time. And the knowledge that I have at the time. I forgive myself for treating Roxy horribly. She definitely didn't deserve that. But getting other people to help you figure yourself out, feeling left out whenever they don't know how to help you, but you see them helping others. It's frustrating as hell. I don't know if it's my Scorpio moon keeping people at bay. Makes them intimidated. I like being intimidating to some, to those that want to do harm to me. I don't want to be intimidating to the people that I want to hold close. I want to be loved and I want to love. And I want to teach people how to do that for themselves too, if they're willing to listen. When you think in your head, do you hear yourself speaking? Or do you see pictures? Or one of my friends said that their internal monologue is written. They're reading their thoughts, which I had never heard before. I can't see things very well in my head, unfortunately. I have dreams, not often. I had one earlier today that made me go back to sleep for the third time because I wanted to go back into it, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. I had a dream of my childhood dog being here. He's passed. The dream, I believe it was both Tico, the one that's passed, and Bear, which my sister is taking care of. But I only really remember like seeing him hiding behind my curtains. And he was hiding where, well, my room wasn't set up like this in the dream, but it was inside of this room, or I don't know. He was sitting on top of this bookshelf, but the bookshelf was over by this window. I don't know how he got up there, because he was old and frail, and image of him that I saw in my dream was him, like, whenever he was older. He was kept nestling and looking at, like, either a candle that was about to go out or incense, because there was, like, smoke, little drifts of smoke. And I kept trying to get him to come over, because I was like, you need to eat something. You're dying. You're so thin. You're falling apart. And you keep staring at this smoke. Why are you doing that? I went over to the dog bowl, and I knew that I didn't have any food for these dogs because I don't have a dog here. My roommates do. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can see if they'll eat some of Duran's food. And whenever I went to get the scoop, one, it wasn't dog food in there. It was like chopped up like sausages and maybe some bits of dog like kibble. I don't fucking know. It was a strange. But you know, I poured some in there, tried to get like the smaller pieces of it because he was weak and couldn't chew very well. And I set it out. I was like, here, come on, like, you gotta eat. And Bear went over and he didn't eat the meat. He drank water, and there was also, man, my dreams have such strange imagery. I think there was a cup or like a little bowl that had chips and slices of like hamburger slice pickles inside of it. And that's what Bear was eating from. And I was like, okay, whatever. You're healthy. Like, you can do whatever you want. I'm trying to make sure my boy is okay. And I think at some point when I was refilling the bowl, I was like, wait, you're dreaming. Wake up. Not wake up, but like wake up in the dream and go see him, because you haven't gotten to see him in a long time. When was the last time that you saw him move like that? So then I just remember like not fucking with the food anymore, and I went to my room and peeked behind the curtain, and he was still sitting there. And I like grabbed him and held him, and he kept trying to look at but he let up eventually, and just I woke up and I wanted to go back to sleep so I could see my dog, because I was like, oh shit, he's visiting me. I didn't go back into that dream, but whenever I woke up, I could smell him, and I could hear his little keychain jingle. And my roommate and their dog are not here, so I know it meant something. I hope I dream about him again soon. And he's not as ill in that dream. Have you noticed the correlation between how people treat their pets and how they treat their partners or their family or themselves? Because it's big. Like, unfortunately, my family, weren't able to take care of our pets in the way that I wanted to as a kid. But the way that they were treated was with love and compassion. The only thing that we couldn't help them with was anything that required money, right? And I also knew that my opportunities were stunted because of our finances, which is hard to get other people to recognize the importance of that. The importance of something in the lack of it. The importance of your health when it's not being taken care of. And you don't have the ability to take care of it. It turns into fear. Because if you can't pay to take care of that thing, if you can't pay to take care of yourself properly, then you're going to be afraid that of any little tiny thing that could cause harm to you, right? So I had to grow out of the fear of being hurt and the cost of pain. There shouldn't be a cost to pain other than, I suppose, if you inflicted that pain on others, you should probably pay for that. But it puts a burden on your shoulders for something that's not even there. Something that you are anticipating because you know that you can't support the failure of that thing. Or you couldn't handle the failure of your health. You couldn't handle the failure of your addictions. You couldn't handle the failure of the expectations that you set out for your life, and you realize, oh, I have to get over all of these things that I've burdened myself with the thought of, because there's no evidence of any of that happening. There's no evidence of negativity coming my way, but I'm still afraid. What are you afraid of? Something inside, probably. Or something that you need to look inwards to understand. Introspection is no luxury. Having the time to do it, I suppose, is, but then it also becomes somewhat of a burden if that's the only thing that you can't afford to do. If the only thing I can afford to do is be by myself, then that's the only thing that happens. And I want to afford more for my life. I want to replant myself in fertile soil. But it costs a lot of money to move a tree that's rooted somewhere. There's even like tree relocation services. Get paid the big bucks to de-root and reconstruct a living being somewhere that it might be happier. Or they even do it whenever a whole area has been affected by disease or disaster and there's only a few surviving ones left, but the earth is traumatized, so it can't possibly sustain that one beautiful tree for that much longer after what just happened to it. So someone's got to go through the work of moving it, and not all areas care that much about the ecosystem. But there's also plenty of trees that are built to persevere weather that they're not supposed to be in. Nature finds a way. It takes years and years. And it only takes small little civilizations of humans to ruin that little forest for everyone. I'm not going to let myself be ruined or misinterpreted by people that are not willing to understand me. And I'm not going to de-root myself. I'm staying. You guys gotta move around me. No longer will deforestation be taking place in Roxy's realm. I'm not letting any more of my trees be cut down, so to speak. So if my branches get in your way, you better learn how to fight for a little bit of the sun without fucking with my leaves. I mean, trees are so smart. I've never been to a forest. Never been or stood next to like a really massive tree. I was telling someone the other day that I just want to find a forest so that I could look up and just only see trees around me. I've never gotten to experience that. But it's weird to say that, apparently. Or it's weird to say that you haven't traveled whenever you grew up without the ability to. Trust me, I've been everywhere that I am capable of going. Every opportunity that I have to go somewhere, I try and take it. Those paths just haven't led me very far away from where I started. I always come back, which is fine. I'm just waiting to find a road that I haven't been down. which is not easy. I've driven a lot in this place. One day, though. I mean, even when I do travel, or have been able to travel outside of my home state, it all looks familiar. I've only been to Dallas three times, total of perhaps 2 weeks spent over, the accumulated times I've been. And I have already memorized the streets to the places that I like to go to there. And I'm able to get there without having to use a GPS. I hardly ever use a GPS, mind you. I only use it whenever I'm in unfamiliar places, and it's very rare for me to find myself in an unfamiliar place, so it's nice to not have to rely on it whenever other people do. Surviving in this world without the tools that you can accumulate is apparently a hard task for other people to accomplish, but I think it really has to do with what you started out with and what you're willing to let go of. And I've been willing to let go of everything that I've had because I didn't start out with having hardly any of it. But watching others hold on to things that are harmful for them is really tough. And if any of you see me holding on to anything that's harmful to me, then I guess let me know. Because I like carrying a lot of stuff. I don't realize that it's hurting me until a little bit too late sometimes. Because I picked it up. Why would I pick up something that is harmful to me? I never would in my right mind, but sometimes those things change. And I don't realize that they're hurting me until I'm bleeding. I'd like to see the warning signs a little bit sooner. But you don't see red flags when they're blowing in your direction, so I can't blame myself for that. Can't blame anyone for anything. Can only learn and let go and learn and let go. I think I'm gonna go let go of some more stuff.